Save up to $50 at crimsontrace.com. Laser sighting systems from Crimson Trace will make you a more accurate and confident shooter. No personal protection firearm is fully equipped without a laser sighting system from Crimson Trace. Visit crimsontrace.com November 29th through December 25th and save up to $50 on the one tool no personal protection firearm should be without: a Crimson Trace laser sight. Save up to $50 now through Christmas Day at crimsontrace.com.
I'm a gun owner.
Your views, advice, and questions are the driving force of Gun Talk.
I don't think that guns are scary things.
Visit us online at www.guntalk.com. Call Tom now at 866-TALK-GUN, 866-825-5486. Let us know what you think about the gun-related issues of the day. Now, back to Gun Talk.
Oh, man, we got a lot of things going on. We got people calling in. We got stories breaking. We've got, of course, the whole Newtown anniversary and then the shooting out in Colorado. We'll talk about that in just a little while. We've got folks that are on hold, and we're going to get to some of you guys. Don't go anywhere, okay? And then we'll have a guest, so everybody's going to get in here. So I tell you what, first I want to do this. Let's get Cale in here on line one. I do want to talk about this. Hey, Cale, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Tom.
Good. So you're looking for a trainer?
Well, no, actually, I have gone down to Gunsight twice now for 2 of their classes, and it's a great facility. Mm-hmm. I live up here in Olympia, Washington, and that's a bit of a trip. There are some other trainers in the area, and I just wanted to find out your perspective on how do you determine if a school is really worth spending your money on?
Oh, man, that's the tough one. Here's the thing, and you've been to Gunsight. So did you do the 250 class there?
I did the 250 and then the close quarter pistol class.
Perfect. All right, so you have already seen world-class instructors. Now, the question is, when you see people writing about another school somewhere, and the thing is, the first time somebody goes to a gun fighting school, they are just amazed, and they say, these guys are great. And I always wonder, compared to what? Where else have you been? How do you compare them to anything? I mean, because if you've never had any training, anybody looks like he really knows what he's doing. Once you get some other training, you might look at him and go, ooh, I don't know about those guys. Here's what I would do. If I were looking at a class somewhere, I would go online, find some reviews, and there'll be a lot of forums, bulletin boards, that type of thing available. Then start asking questions of the people who have been there and say, what other schools have you been to? What other trainers have you worked with? And if they say none, then I would give their review a pretty low score in terms of reliability. Only if somebody has been to multiple schools or worked with multiple instructors do I think they have a basis for comparison, and do I value their opinion of the quality of the school and the instructor. Now, you do know about the Firearms Academy of Seattle right there in your neighborhood, don't you?
I do, and there's also another place down in Eastern Oregon.
Well, yeah, of course, Thunder Ranch.
Correct.
Is in Eastern Oregon. Now, if you can get down to Lakeview, Thunder Ranch, it's fabulous, but you just need to apply about a year ahead of time. But
yeah, I've been looking at their classes online.
Clint Smith is incredibly good. Here's the thing about those two schools. Firearms Academy of Seattle is very good, and Gila and Marty Hayes do a great job. They have good instructors. If you can get to Thunder Ranch, try to do it. It's like, the oldest. It's like just an incredible place. But here's the thing you're going to get. You're going to get the same thing almost at Thunder Ranch that you got at Gunsight, because the doctrines are very similar, and Clint Smith at Thunder Ranch used to be the director at Gunsight.
Okay.
So just kind of a heads up there. It's a good idea to go train with other people once you start getting some training, because you'll pick up different things. But
correct.
I think maybe doing online research, talking to people one-on-one, asking some questions, and trying to find out what's their basis for their reviews, that will help you a bunch. Listen, I wish you luck with it. And it's tough. I get that question. Thank you for the call. We get that question a lot. How do you know if a trainer is good? You got to do your research like anything else. Let me bring in a longtime friend of mine, gun writer extraordinaire, hunter, rifle guy, but also shotgun. He's just a gun guy, okay? John Barsness. Hey, John, how you doing? Good, Tom. How are you? Well, I am great. I guess winter comes early and stays quite a while up there where you are.
It can. We had about 5 days last week where it didn't get above zero.
In Montana, right?
In Montana, southwest Montana. Some parts of the state were even colder.
All right. You've written a bunch of books. You've written for like all the gun magazines, it seems like. Who are you writing for these days?
Oh, I'm writing for a bunch. I'm writing for guns, handloader, rifle, successful hunter, sports afield, and then my wife and I do our the NRA magazines, and then my wife and I do our own quarterly magazine online from our website. So
outstanding. Yeah, and your wife Eileen, of course, is a great writer, photographer in her own right. And if you ever want to have like one of the best cookbooks for game around, Eileen's books are terrific. So I highly recommend those. You're probably known as much as anything as a hunting guy. Would that be fair enough?
That's very fair.
Okay.
Yeah, I mostly use guns to hunt.
Yeah. All right. I've got a caller. He just called in. I want to bring him on because we're going to bring Caleb in here because I'm going to ask you to help him out. Caleb is on line 3. Caleb, how you doing?
Good, sir. I have a question.
Okay.
Does a 16-gauge side-by-side double barrel work well for hunting deer?
Okay. How old are you, Caleb?
I'm 12 years old.
12 years old. You're in Minnesota. Are you required to use a shotgun in Minnesota?
Where I live, yes.
Okay. All right. So I've got John Barsness, who probably knows as much about hunting guns, deer hunting, as anybody I know. John, Caleb needs some suggestions here.
Well, a 16-gauge side-by-side will work, but it's not going to work very well with slugs because it's probably choked too tightly and the barrels may not shoot to the same place, plus it doesn't have real sights on it. Right. It will work with buckshot, but buckshot's very limited in range. Probably no more than 30 yards. You'd be a lot better off if you got a slug gun that was purposely built to fire one shot at a time with sights or a scope. That'll give you a little bit more range.
Even if you went to a single-shot break-action shotgun, slug gun, and put a sights or scope on it, with these modern loads, John, with the Sabo loads, you're looking at 150 and maybe as much as 200 yards with some of those.
Yes, especially with a rifled barrel. It's amazing what you can do. They shoot very similarly to a short-range rifle, 150 yards, sometimes 200. I've used them out to 200.
So, Caleb, what we're saying is, and I agree completely with John, is the side-by-side is not particularly good unless you're going to be shooting real close in tight woods and you're going to be using buckshot. But if you're going to be using slugs, I would get a single barrel, either a pump, semi-auto, or even just a single-shot break action, which are fairly inexpensive. Well, rifled barrel for the Sabo slugs, and I would go that way, okay? All right. Well, Caleb, thank you. Listen, I appreciate your call. John, I know you get these kind of questions all the time. I got a question for you. I'm watching, and you and I we've been doing this a long time, partner. We've seen a lot of things change in rifles and calibers and all. For hunting, is it my imagination, or am I seeing a bit of a shift from 20 years ago when we were all trying to get the Super Magnum, Super Duper Blaster Magnum, and we're coming back down to more efficient, reasonable, less recoil, but still effective cartridges?
Definitely. I think there are several reasons for that. Bullets have improved so much in the past 20 or 30 years that you can get very effective penetration and expansion with smaller calibers. The other thing is that we're part of the baby boom generation, you and me, and we're getting older, and we're not as fond of recoil as we used to be.
I didn't like it in the first place.
No, I didn't either. But I don't think we even care to tolerate it much anymore.
Well, I guess we should just go ahead and tell people that, you and I have been advocates of the 257 Roberts for many, many years, and it's still just a wonderful choice.
It's for anything, almost all deer hunting, antelope, anything of that size, it's great. It will handily take bigger game if you know what you're doing.
And if you use
there's a lot
bullets.
of people here in Montana that use it on elk with no problems.
Well, and the secret to that, just like you said, it's about good bullets. We have that really has been the big change in rifle shooting across the board in the last 30 years, hasn't it?
That was the first big change. And And we had the Nosler partition all along, which is still a great bullet and one I use a lot. But now we have a bunch of different choices. So if by some chance our rifle doesn't shoot Nosler partitions very well, we have 18 different choices that we can go to.
Well, exactly right. Tell you what, Stu, I want to talk reloading, and we're going to take a quick break. We've got Eric's going to be talking with us. He's got a question, and John is the guy to ask about reloading questions. So give us a holler, 866-TALK-GUNS. You want to talk about your favorite hunting caliber, a type of rifle, which is your favorite hunting rifle, or obviously reloading. Give us a holler, 866-TALK-GUNS. We're talking with John Barsness, gun writer extraordinaire, and he's got some books that you want to hear about. Be right back.
Get a grip on your AR rifle, an Ergo grip. For maximum control, comfort, and accuracy, you need the grip that's ergonomically designed for the human hand. Ergo grips come on some of the best factory ARs. Now you can upgrade your own rifle with a great grip. At ergogrips.net, you'll also find accessories for your rifles and handguns. Shoot better, get comfortable. ergogrips.net. ERGO grips.net.
Hello?
Hi, honey. What are you looking for in the safe?
Oh, I was just... Wait a second. How'd you know I was in the safe?
Oh, because I put in Liberty's Safe Alert security system, so now it sends me an alert whenever the door is open.
Well, aren't you smart?
But that's not all, honey. Safe Alert also warns me when the temperature is too cold or too hot. It even tells me when the safe has been jostled. I can even find out what the humidity is inside the safe. Best part is, honey, it works in any safe.
So you knew right away when I opened the door? How does it let you know?
Well, it sends an alert directly to my smartphone. And the cool part is the unit was only $199, and Liberty Safe covers the monitoring for life.
Now we don't have to worry when we're out of town. We'll know what's going on with the safe.
And I'll know my guns are safe.
And my jewelry and the family photos.
Yep. We'll add your phone for free so we both get the alerts.
For more information on Safe Alert, go to libertysafe.com. That's libertysafe.com.
Home invasions happen anytime, day or night. Do you have a firearm close by? You can. And still keep it secure with one of the great wall safes from Console Vault. Plate steel construction, 2 levels of security, and models which hide in plain sight. Install 2 or 3 around the house. Always nearby, but secure. Locked, but quick to open. Visit consolevault.com. That's CONSOLE vault.com.
The Ruger American Rimfire Rifle combines features of the Ruger American Rifle and innovations of the 1022 Rimfire Rifle to appeal to all bolt-action enthusiasts. It features a modular stock system that provides comb height options for scope or iron sight use, a power bedding integral bedding block system for outstanding accuracy, a Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger, and a 1022-style rotary magazine for reliable feeding. The Ruger American Rimfire Rifle, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
There's a rise in home invasions in America, and you need to be ready. Ready to protect yourself and your family. The bedside backup from Crossbreed Holsters keeps your gun at your bedside, ready to go. It also folds flat for easy storage and travel. Take it with you and use with any hotel bed. To see more, go to crossbreedholsters.com. That's crossbreedholsters.com. The bedside backup is not a child safety device.
You may be a new shooter, a longtime gun owner, or even a police officer or soldier. No personal defense handgun is fully equipped without a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge. Crimson Trace.
Want your opinion to make a difference? Log on to our website and take the Gun Talk poll. www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Tom.
All right, talking to my buddy John Barsness. He is a fellow rifle loony. And in fact, I got a book called Obsessions of a Rifle Loony. John, what the heck is a rifle loony anyway?
A rifle loony is the modern version of what used to be called a gun nut.
I'm proud to have that title. We're just not
that. People really like rifles.
Yeah.
And we try all sorts of different rifles, all sorts of different calibers, all sorts of different bullets, and hunt with all of them.
We keep experimenting. I mean, and truthfully, if somebody really gets to know us and you start talking about bullet seating depth and run out and things, they look at us and say, those fellows just aren't quite right, are they?
Well, yeah, especially people who can go down to a hardware store, buy a box of ammo, and go hunting. Right. And I've done that myself. But there's a certain fascination some of us have for the whole process.
Well, obsessions of a rifle
doesn't necessarily make us get any more deer, but we have more fun doing it, maybe.
Well, that's exactly right. Now, your website is riflesandrecipes.com. You can get your books there, which is a great way to go. We also have your book, Obsessions of a Rifle Loony, on our website, guntalk.com/Tom's Picks. I want to get Eric in here on line 2. He's got a question that maybe you can help us out with. Eric, how you doing?
Hi, all right. I've got a friend that's got a couple different Lee progressive presses. And I was wondering, he's got two of one that's a real heavy, meaty frame, and then the other one doesn't look near as heavy. I was just wondering which one would be the best, or I don't know the models offhand.
So you're thinking about buying one of those used from him?
Yes.
Okay. John?
Well, if I was going to buy a used progressive press, I'd probably buy the one that was the heaviest duty.
You bet.
If it's been used a while, that one's more likely to hold up. What caliber is they for?
Hey, Eric, you got to turn your radio off if you would, please. Yeah, what calibers are those set up for?
They're not set up at this point.
Okay. Are you loading rifles or handgun?
I was going to do both.
Okay.
I have 25-06 and 357 are my two main ones.
Okay, John, would he be better off?
The heaviest duty one that you possibly could for that purpose.
The thing is, and the reason we're saying go with the heavy one is because if a press gets even slightly out of line or warped or bent, if you will, now you've got a real problem with accuracy and repeatability. So you want something that's heavy, that particularly with the 25-06, that you can lean on that handle if you need to. You may not, but at least it opens up some options for you. I would definitely go with the heaviest that you can get there.
Okay.
All right, listen, I appreciate the call, Eric. John, here's the question I bet you get all the time. With the quality of factory ammo we have now, why reload?
The main reason to reload is to be able to shoot more. It makes it more affordable, and the more you shoot, the better you get. You can make a little bit better ammo than possibly make better ammo than the factories can now, but you mostly can make it cheaper than they can. And if you shoot 10 times as much, you're 10 times better a shot.
There you go. All right, I'll throw a few questions at you. Talk to me about the current renewed, if you will, interest in 6.5 calibers.
Very interesting. Well, there's a lot more interest in longer range shooting these days, partly due to the other major development in rifle shooting, the handheld laser rangefinder. And 6.5 has always had very high ballistic coefficients for its bullets. And this isn't so due to any magic. It's basically because the original 6.5 bullets were very long and heavy, and so they had to use a faster twist in the barrel. And when they made the transition to pointed bullets, they ended up with a very high ballistic coefficient, retained their velocity better down long range. And there's a great combination of high ballistic coefficient, moderate recoil, which helps you to be able to hit things farther away.
There it is. And I've always said that a lot of people would actually take more game by going to a lighter caliber because they won't be afraid of the recoil and they'll actually hit what they're aiming at.
Yes, exactly. And again, it goes back to what we're talking about. The more you shoot, the better you'll shoot. But unless you use a gun that kicks too much and makes you flinch. And
good.
Yeah, which is why the 257 and a lot of the 6.5s are very effective cartridges.
Absolutely. Okay, it used to be many years ago, to get a better rifle, or really to get a good shooting rifle, you had to pay a lot of money. We have had an absolute sea change in terms of affordability and quality of rifles, have we not?
Yes, we have factory rifles these days that will shoot almost as well as the best custom rifles, and sometimes if you get lucky, you'll get one that will shoot just as well. I've had numerous factory rifles that are among the most accurate I've ever owned, and I've owned a lot of custom rifles.
Well, I mean, you're looking at things like the Savage, the Ruger American, and others. We're talking about rifles that are like $350 retail, selling for $300 or less, and they're shooting half-inch groups out there.
Yeah, well, one of the funny stories I've heard in my years, a friend of mine had a famous gunsmith go hunt prairie dogs with him in Wyoming, and his custom rifle, the trigger broke when he got there, and he had to go to a local store and buy a Savage, and it turned out it shot just as well as his custom rifle.
I really think we are in the good old days. This is like the best time ever for affordability and availability of great products for shooters.
Yeah, they're not only very accurate, the new rifles are not only very accurate, but a lot of them have great triggers, which was always the stumbling block on more affordable rifles before. You could just pick one off the rack and go shoot well under an inch.
All right, you got the question you get all the time. You got to pick up one rifle. You got to hunt everything in North America with it. What's the caliber?
30-06. Boring.
No,
I hate
perfect.
these kind of questions, but
perfect.
You got to answer them eventually.
That's it. It's perfect because it will, in fact, do it all. 30-06 or 308, if you prefer. John, listen, thank you so much. Tell them the website again, please.
Riflesandrecipes.com for everything you want to shoot and eat.
Shoot it, need it. There you go. Say hello to Eileen for me.
I will do that. Good talking to you.
Good talking with you. Take care. Yeah, buddy. We're going to be shooting it. Then we're going to be eating it. We're going to be having a bunch of fun out there. All right. Open lines for you now. 866-TALK-GUN, 866-825-5486. What are you using for your hunting rifle? How did you come to that decision? Do you like it? And are you thinking about getting something else? If you give me a holler, I bet I can help you with that choice.
One of Talker Magazine's 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America. You're listening to Gun Talk, heard every week at this time on great radio stations across America. Stay tuned. Gun Talk is coming right back. Covering all aspects of gun ownership every week on this fine radio station. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, 866-TALK-GUN will get you in there, 866-825-5486. Also talking a little bit about the anniversary of the Newtown shootings, that not a lot of coverage on it. Some editorials. I noticed that the New York Times ran an editorial on it, but disabled the comments section. That's some fearless journalism, isn't it? You betcha. All right, let's go to the phones. Line 2, Larry's with us out of Alton, Illinois. Actually, this is Larry Reed, isn't it? Is it not?
Yeah. Hi, Tom. Well, first of all, happy holidays.
Now, we need to explain. Larry is on the radio just before me, WBGZ. Did I get it right?
Right. And we hear you every Sunday after my program, and I just want to let you know how much the folks in the Great River Bend here of the Mississippi, across the river from St. Louis, enjoy your program.
Well, what are people talking about on your show? What are you hearing from folks there? What's their concerns?
Tom, this past week I attended a seminar at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville, on conceal and carry.
Oh, that's right, because Illinois it's just about to come into view, if you will.
Yeah, and I think it's vital that people, first of all, listen to Gun Talk to get information and to contact, one of my sponsors. I have a new sponsor, and Mr. Magus is doing, we're at the home of Winchester.
Right, that's right. Just right there at East Alton.
Yeah, and he's doing the 16-hour required 16 hours of required class work, and then shooting. He has an indoor shooting range to get you qualified.
Right.
But the real quick, the comment I wanted to make. Oh, by the way, Mike Jordan and Kevin Howard said, say hi.
Two good guys in the gun business for a long, long time. You bet.
I don't know if they're good anymore.
Well, none of us are as good as we used to be. There you go.
But anyhow, the conference that I attended was very, very helpful.
How so?
And Illinois is just, they're one of the last states to go this route, and I think it's vitally important. I really do.
So what did you learn there that you didn't know before you went to this workshop?
Well, I didn't know a heck of a lot, Tom, but the thing that I did know is all the paperwork that you have to go through to first the classroom, then the fingerprinting, and then the background check, and then the fees charged, and then it'll be a little later in January before they will start processing the applications for conceal and carry. And, of course, they do a background check and all the things that other states probably do, but somebody said Illinois is the 40-something state to come out with the conceal and carry law.
Actually, Larry, it's the 50th. It is the last state that are going to have some provision for concealed carry. Now, in some states, it's somewhere between difficult and almost impossible, but at least it's on the books. But Illinois was the last state where there was nothing on the books. There was no way to carry either openly or concealed, and they lost the big court decision on that, and so that's what you get. I am hearing about people rushing to these classes all over Illinois.
Oh, yeah. You can put a stamp on that, Tom. People are actually, Mark Magus is booked, but he puts these classes on weekends out here at the Altonwood River Sportsman's Club, and people need to get in touch with him, and it's triggertalent.com, I think.
Well, yeah, and no matter where you are in Illinois, if you are thinking that you would like to get a concealed carry permit, you need to get signed up for a class because they're getting booked up, and now they're getting backed up, and you may be looking at months before you can actually take a class.
Yeah, and it's going to take quite a while to get the paperwork all done, and that's okay. If we're the 50th state, Gresham, you got to be kidding me. We're the 50th state. Wow.
Hey, you know what? I would say you may be last, but at least you arrived. So congratulations. Hey, Larry, thank you so much. Let's do this. Tell you what, I need to get back on your show. Okay?
Exactly. That's one of the other things. Give me a call, and we'll make a date.
We will do it. Listen, thank you so much for the call, my friend.
Bye.
All right, Illinois reciprocity? Yeah, right. We'll see. 866-TALK-GUN.
TopGunSupply.com carries a large selection of fine firearms and accessories. Get all the parts you need for your Sig Sauer, HK, and Glock pistols. Grips, screws, recoil springs, sights, barrels, magazines, holsters. The list goes on. Our knowledgeable sales staff, professional service, great prices, and super fast shipping are here to help you. Check us out today. TopGunSupply.com. TopGunSupply.com.
Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently. When it comes to personal protection, nothing beats a Bodyguard. Choose the lightweight, compact, and concealable Bodyguard 380 pistol or the Bodyguard 38 revolver, both with a built-in laser sight. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently.
The .45 Auto, also known as the 1911, is the standard other defensive pistols are measured against. No matter what pistol you carry, techniques developed around the 1911 are vital. You know you need training. And you know your concealed carry class definitely was not training. Now Gun Talk presents an exciting DVD, Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. Tiger's unique training style will have you drawing, moving, shooting, and running your gun better, no matter what style pistol you prefer. At ShopGunTalk.com, you can order our DVDs of Tiger's instruction. ShopGunTalk.com also has a 2-DVD set, including Concealed Carry 1. Get both for the information you know you need. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com has DVDs, books, and other essential gear. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
What do LaserMax customers say about LaserMax lasers?
I'm alive because of your company. I was robbed at gunpoint. 2 of my 3 shots hit their intended target, and I was able to remove the threat. I made it home to my wife alive.
For shooting accuracy and training, it's a life-saving tool critical to any firearm.
I trust your products with my life. Thank you.
To learn more about LaserMax, go to lasermax.com. That's LaserMax.com. LaserMax.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
Wouldn't it be cool if you could use your AR magazines in a bolt-action rifle? Now you can with Mossberg's MVP rifles. The patent-pending design is a first for bolt-action rifles. Choose from 5.56 and 223 to 204 Ruger, 300 AAC Blackout, and 308 Varmint, Predator, Patrol, and MVP Flex System models. Adjustable trigger too. AR mags in a bolt rifle. The Mossberg MVP. See more at mossberg.com.
Questions? Comments? Please email Tom at guntalk.com. During the show, you can call Tom at 866-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, back to Gun Talk.
Yeah, this shooting in a Colorado school this past, I think it was Friday. Expect the outcome of that to be calls for raising the legal age to buy guns, because this fellow was 18 years old, bought a shotgun, went in and shot somebody there, shot one of the students, and prayers for her and for her family. Yeah, they're going to use that. I mean, they can't go with the assault weapon thing because it was a shotgun. It was a Joe Biden gun, okay? But one thing that I'm not hearing, and I think you could bring this up in conversation, is why did it stop so quickly? It basically was over in about 1 minute and 10 seconds because there was somebody there with a gun. Now, it was a school resource officer. Good deal. That works, okay? That's fine. As long as there's somebody there on site with a gun. You cannot wait and call people to show up with a gun. Because it's going to be, I mean, they said they had a pretty fast response time. I think they got there in something on the order of 14 minutes. 14 minutes. 14 minutes? Really? Let somebody beat on you with a tire iron for 14 minutes. See if that's a fast response time. Somebody in the school with a gun. Could be a police officer, could be a trained teacher administrator, could be several trained teachers administrators. But somebody there with a gun is the only way it stops. And what typically happens is these young punks shoot themselves when faced with resistance, and he did. I will not use his name. I am not going to give him publicity. He's dead and gone, and it's tragic for his family, but he does not get publicity out of this thing. All right, let's go to the phones. Line 1, Al is with us out of Mississippi. Hello, Al.
Hey, Tom, how you doing today?
I am great. You got a book to talk about, eh?
Yes, I do, and it's I just would recommend anyone that has any interest in the gun control debate to read this book. It was briefly discussed in the December issue, I believe it was, of the NRA magazine, so all the NRA people are probably aware of it. I don't know how many will actually buy a copy. Mm-hmm. It is Gun Control in the Third Reich by Stephen P. Halbrook, who I just love. He's an impeccable scholar and a wonderful writer.
I just got to say, Stephen Halbrook is one of the very best constitutional scholars in the country and one of the finest minds on the history of and the meaning of the Second Amendment. Normally, if somebody said they wrote a book called Gun Control in the Third Reich, I would kind of blanch. I would wonder. But when you put Stephen Halbrook's name at the top of it, you think, okay, this one is interesting. This is going to be worth looking at. Did you get a copy? Have you read it?
I did. I have. I just recently finished it, and it is well worth reading. It's. I'll make one of these broad general statements and sweep my hand and say that everyone knows that the Nazi regime disarmed their enemies.
Right.
That's pretty well widely known. What is less well understood is the nuts and bolt techniques that they used to achieve that over a long period of time, incremental steps that didn't alarm anyone. They took their time, and that's what this book covers, not so much the fact that they did it, but how they did it.
Let me ask you a question. Now, I've not read the book, and it's always dangerous when I ask a question that I don't know exactly what I'm going to get back, but I got a feeling. When you read this book, and Stephen would absolutely document this really well. In fact, I'm reading some of the reviews on the website from top law professors, and they're rave reviews for the book. When you read the book, at any point did you get the feeling, wow, I think I recognize from then things that are going on now?
I was going to say that you remember the old movie trailers from the 50s and back in that period where they would describe the plot of the movie as ripped right from today's headlines. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That anyone who the old saying goes, if you're not scared, you don't understand the situation.
Right.
Once you read this book, you will understand what kind of situation we're in right now.
Understand what's going on, and what they're doing, and what the plan is, and how they're implementing it, and it is absolutely a carbon copy. That is, listen, I really appreciate this, Al. Thank you for the book review on that, and I tell you what, we're going to get Stephen on here. We're going to make a call and get him on. I do, and thank you for the call. I do want to read at least one of these little quickie reviews. Stephen Halbrook's meticulous research in gun control in the Third Reich sheds new and revealing light on the consolidation of Nazi power and the prosecution of the Holocaust. Everyone, including advocates of gun controls, should find this pioneering and thought-provoking book essential reading. That's not from the NRA. That was written by James B. Jacobs. He is the Warren E. Berger Professor of Law, New York University. He's also the author of Can Gun Control Work? There are several others there. If you'd like to take a look at it, the website is independent.org, independent.org. The book is Gun Control in the Third Reich by Stephen P. Halbrook. This is not some fly-by-night guy writing this, and it is not something that was done to be inflammatory. Guarantee you, Stephen is a serious researcher and a top constitutional scholar. We're absolutely going to be getting him on just as quickly as we can. I want to talk about this. Fascinating stuff. Sometimes you got to read something that makes you uncomfortable. You just do. And in doing so, maybe it takes some blinders off. Maybe it helps you understand. Maybe it helps you explain. I have the sneaking suspicion that this book is one of those, all right? 866-TALK-GUN. That'll get you in here. 866-TALK-GUN. Be right back.
Gun Talk stands for safety, personal responsibility, and common courtesy. To be a part of the show, call 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Gun Talk will be right back.
All righty, 866-TALK-GUN. We'll get you in here. We got an open line for you if you'd like to join us. 866-TALK-GUN. Let's see, line 2. Kenji, kind of like in Vancouver, Washington. Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. So what you looking for here?
Yeah, so I was having a debate with my cousins, and they, for some reason, think that the Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms, is the right to have pitchforks. They seem to think that it has nothing to do with guns, that at the time that it was written, that the normal common person didn't have a gun.
Let me ask you a question. How did they think the Revolutionary War was fought? It wasn't fought with pitchforks.
Yeah, they, for some reason, think that it was just the ruling class or the armies that had it, and not the common everyday man.
Wow.
I know it's ridiculous.
All right.
What would be some good information to, like maybe a book or reference material that...
Well, there are a lot of them. Anything by Stephen Holbrook is good. We were just talking about him. If you go to the Second Amendment Foundation's website, saf.org, they have a lot of books there that would help you out. We've got the SAF book list. In fact, I'm going to click on it now. America Fights Back. You've got historical things. You've got all sorts of things. Bill of Rights, Creation and Reconstruction. But here's the thing. Let me give you 2 or 3 little things you can throw out. Okay, first of all, the only army in our country at the time was the British Army. Right. That's who we fought against. So there was no, the army fought the British. There was no army. There was just people, individuals, who got together and fought.
We are our own army.
We are our army, and that's why the Second Amendment was created, because we knew you cannot depend upon. In fact, you, with their recent experience of the Revolutionary War, the people you will be fighting is your own army, and that was their whole point. So the Second Amendment is not about equipping the army; it's about equipping the individuals, the citizens, to fight against an oppressive government. So it's silly on the face of it to think that the Second Amendment was about equipping an army, because it was individuals fighting the only army in existence at the time. So, I mean, there's the first thing. It's kind of hard to even understand. As for the other thing I run into, and you may run into this when you're talking to your friends, is they'll say, well, but that was about muzzle loaders and flintlocks, not the modern guns. You say, well, okay, then we should limit the First Amendment to quill pens and Gutenberg-type presses. And certainly the First Amendment would not apply to radio, TV, or the Internet. That's the same kind of thing.
There you go.
So, but yeah, you can get yourself up to speed. Go to the SAF website, saf.org. Lots of good information there, good books. Do a little poking around. You'll find what you're looking for. But look, let me just pass along an attaboy to you, because getting informed, what you're doing is you're building your stash of ammunition. You're building up intellectual ammunition you can use. Also, here's a good, I think, a really effective way to go about it. Don't make statements. Keep asking questions. Make them come up with the answers. It's much more persuasive. Well, who do you think was fighting who in the Revolutionary War? The British had what? An army. Let them fill that in. And what did we have? Well, we didn't have an army. Let them fill that in. What tools did our guys use? They didn't use pitchforks against the British as they marched in lines. We used our squirrel rifles and everything else to shoot them from behind rocks and trees. We cheated. Always cheat, always win. Basic rules of gunfighting, right? Or if you find yourself in a fair fight, your tactics suck. All right, another one to write down. Get a T-shirt made with that one. All right, when we come back, we're going to be talking about what do you do when you're concealed carrying. You stop somewhere and you got to go in from your car and leave your gun in the car. Does that make you nervous? Makes me nervous. Well, I think we've got a solution for you. You're going to like this one.
Firearms, ammunition, recreational and competitive shooting, training, hunting, and yes, even politics. You're listening to Gun Talk. Call us now at 1-866-825-5486. That's 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Or reach out to us via email at tom@guntalk.com.